Well, I think she wants to try.
What is up, guys? We are finally back. It's been a while, but the beta is finally live. I think it's been last October when it was finally, like, the alpha was out. And prior to that, it was a few months before that. So it's been about a good 8 months to a year since we've done a GODFORGE video. But the new beta is live. I suppose what they're going to be doing is a 2 week beta here, and then after the beta ends, they're going to take, I think, 8 weeks to basically go through all the bugs and patches, stuff like that. And then finally, they're going to do a second beta, which they're going to add PvP into it and a few other things. And then we should be getting the full release shortly after that. The audio wasn't working there for some reason. Maybe it's something on my end. We'll go into the settings as soon as we get a chance. But right off the rip, I can already tell the graphics have been dramatically improved. The animations, the particle effects, all of that looks way better. In GODFORGE, you'll collect and wield powerful heroes, each with their own unique set of abilities. Basic abilities have no cooldown. And his basic ability is, well, we didn't get to read it. I think it said 315% attack, though. And core abilities are more powerful, but require a cooldown before you can use them again. We already know about how turn meter works from literally any game ever. Wabam! One stand still, allow me. I'm trying to look at the numbers that are coming out so we can keep track of who hits the hardest, basically. The first alpha, I believe we took Lady Jacques. The second alpha, we did Ramses as our starter. So I'm thinking in this one we're going to do, what's it, Guan Yu. And I know he brings like a drain, and he's really good against bosses. And this beta, they added the dungeons and rifts. So I'm pretty sure we're going to go with Guan. I think he'll be pretty good. Ultimate abilities, we already know about that. Ultimates are what they sound like. They're just a really good attack. Pretty much what the champion's going to be known for. Unless it's like Isolde's case where it's her imprint that she's known for. And if memory serves correctly, Ramses is the acid blaster and AoE damage. And he's probably the best of the three for wave clearing. But the waves generally aren't the biggest struggle. Generally, the bosses tend to be like what you have to synergize with. And since Guan Yu brings Drain, and if I'm not mistaken, he does a little bit of max HP, I feel like he's probably the best starter choice for bosses. And that's just going off of my experience with the alpha. It is tempting to go with Ramses, but we did Ramses last time. I do like when their ultimates are ready. You can use them out of turn as long as it's one of your champion's turns, which is nice. So yeah, if the target's under drain, they inflict an additional 5% of the target's max HP. And drain means that whenever you attack, you deal 10% more damage anyone on your team, so it does boost your entire team's damage. But it also gives you 10% of your damage back as like life steal, basically. And the A2 is an AoE that has drain 2 on targets. Is the A1 just drain 1? Yeah. So I'm wondering if drain 2 gives you 20% more damage. I'm not quite sure on that one. And Lady Shock is an AoE 310 with a 25% chance to strong hit. 80% chance to place 1 stack of bleed. And then a 35% chance with the 375 to place a stack of bleed on the A1. The thing about her is it's not guaranteed to place, and her A1 has a pretty low percentage. So it is kind of looking like she's going to be not the best choice of a starter this time. Now, I remember the first alpha, everybody thought she was going to be the best. I guess because of how strong bleed is in some other games. But in this one, I think acid is going to be probably what you go with if you're not going to go with drain for your starter. What name are we going to go with? What about Toothless? I think that's fitting. Now create an avatar in the fires of creation. Choose wisely. Every weapon has its uses. Let's get the screen sized correctly. That way I can see the chat real quick. Sorry about the retention there. Alright. And that way, if we need to pull a champion up on the Raven Pyro website, we have that ready. Does it like let you see their stats or anything before we get into it? No. I guess that tutorial fight is where you were supposed to look at their stats, which we kinda did, but we didn't. Oh, here we go. Okay. So Guan Yu is looking at 900 HP, 88 attack, 95 speed, 75 defense, 945 HP, 90 attack, 67 defense, 95 speed. So a little bit less defense, a little bit more HP. Lady Jacques, 855 with 92 attack, 69 defense, 95. So they all have the same speed. And only 5% difference on the HP, maybe 10. Yeah, I still think we're going to go with Guan Yu. The attack on enemy, 395 attack, which does appear to be the hardest hitting A1. Which you could debate that with the acid from Ramses, his might be a little bit harder hitting depending on how much HP the person you're attacking has. But where if they're under a drain, it inflicts 5% of their max HP. So I don't know. I think that would probably be better. The AoE, pretty nice, 325 with the 25% chance of a strong hit. We have an ultimate that's 175 attack to 4 random enemies, and if an enemy is defeated, puts a faith up on the 0 for 2 turns. I would have thought it would have been a little bit higher of an attack to be an ultimate, but whatever. And 20% increased damage to enemies under drain, which can be very potent. especially as they get like higher HP because they're going to deal 5% of their max HP. Look at you beating the heart of the sun. Ah, you'll be glorious. Name is Waylon. I'm here to help you on your journey. Welcome to Sanctum, your home and refuge. Destiny and I built this place, so I'll help you master its secrets. We get one mortal Aether Stone, whatever that is. We'll find out in a minute. We got an Aether Stone, a bit of divine essence, powerful stuff. Let me show you how to use it. Okay. This marvel's the GODFORGE, your power source built from the fragments of the Aether Wall. So this is all new. This wasn't in the alpha. I keep wanting to call it the beta, but it was the alpha. That Aether Stone awakens it and calls avatars from the fires of creation. Give it a try. Okay, let's give it a try. Oh, it's a summoning stone. Basically like a mystery shard. I wonder if it's like common, uncommon rares from the mysteries, or if it goes up to epic. Ah, I love this one. Moves like a panther. Learn his strengths and flaws. Avatars are pure, aether given to form, and powers of the gods are riven. There are heroes you'll command in your coming battles. Okay. So he's an uncommon. I'm pretty certain he was not in the alpha. He is a wisdom affinity disruptor from the order, and he's a TN. Okay. 750 on the HP, 85 on the speed. So, I mean, it's an uncommon. What do you expect? You got 300 attack and decrease the target's turn meter by 15%. And if they're a chaos alignment, it decreases by 30%. So, the A1 is up to a 30% turn meter reduction, which could be very handy. Attack one enemy with 240 attack twice. So that's, what, 480 attack? And each hit has a 30% chance to place a stun. And if they're chaos, it's each hit 40%. That sounds like a pretty good core, to be honest. And then Lotus Strike for the ultimate. I thought only rares and above were going to have ultimates. I guess I was wrong. Attacks all enemies. 245 attack with the 50% chance of putting Faith down on each target for 2 turns. And if the target's aligned with chaos, it increases the chance by 25, so it's 75%. You know, for an uncommon, that seems like a surprisingly viable champion. Okay. Now we got to go to Smithy. I'm not going to keep reading all the dialogue. We just want to figure out the mechanics and get into the game. Forge a weapon. Mission complete. It's Brynhilda's weapon. Okay. And imprint. Use imprints on the weapons. Heal this hero for 10% of the damage inflicted. From Brynhilda. When this hero's HP falls below 50%, puts a shield of 10% HP on them. I mean, for survivability, it's not bad. Oh, 3K gems. Nice. And if anybody did the minigame, you was able to basically keep re-rolling missions until you got the champion you wanted. I went with Dracula, even though he's not really a wave champion. But he is really good the further you progress in the game, especially like boss-wise. Because he has a lot of bleed and his damage scales up by bleed. And I guess, looking in retrospect, it might not have been a bad idea to have paired him with Lady Jacques. But I'm sure we'll get her before long anyways. Just to have faster bleed procs. Okay. We have no gear though. And just in case anybody's curious, Dracula's A1 attacks an enemy 5% max HP plus 80% attack times 2. So it's 10% of their max HP gone automatically. And like I said, when you're going up against more mid to end game bosses, I feel like that's going to come in very handy. Each hit also has a 75% chance of putting a bleed on the target. And each stack of bleed deals 1% max HP on the enemy turn. And it also heals this hero for 5% of his HP if the target's under a bleed. The core, puts 2 stacks of bleed on all enemies, strips 1 random buff from each target, and if a buff was removed, it'll put 3 stacks of bleed instead, and you get an extra turn. So between the A1 most likely putting out 2 stacks and then 5, you're putting out 5 stacks of bleed pretty much out the gate. And then you've got an AoE that's 5% max HP 4 times, so 20% max HP plus 140% attack. And before attacking, it consumes all stacks of bleed, but increases the damage inflicted by 8% per stack of bleed. I don't know if that's 8% attack or 8% of overall damage. I also don't know if, when it says consumes all stacks, if there's 4 enemies and each enemy has 5 stacks of bleed, is that going to be 20 stacks, so 20 times 8, or is that just going to be 4 times 8? That will dramatically change how viable this champion is, at least with his ultimate. And then the imprint is when this hero falls below half health. Oh, I already put that on because that's from the weapons. My bad. But also, at the start of the enemy's turn, if they're under a bleed, increase the damage of this hero's next attack by 10%. You mix that 10% with Guan Yu's Drain and passive of increasing damage by 10% under Drain. That's 20% more damage just alone right there. Now, why did my screen do that right there? I'm not sure what that button is. Okay, calendar. XP for 5 days, 5-day XP boost. Alright, we will take that. And 1,000 gems. So we've got a couple of reward calendars. We got a daily calendar here. It's wild that it goes out for, is that 30 days? Because this is only a 2-week thing. But I guess this is going to be like when on the full release, you get 30 days, you get Leonida 60 days, Tabay, and then 90 days Aya, and then 91, you get a 30-day reward loop, which appears to be an Eternal Aether Stone, 4-star chickens, blue Aether Stones, some scrolls, gold, Rivenite. Ayas, you get a bunch of energy. 5-star chicken. Month 2, alchemy stones, rubies, the champion, Tabe. She looks pretty cool. She puts out a charm. Now, what does the charm do? Oh, cool, you can actually click it and it give a description this time. When a hero that plays charmed is attacked, the charmed hero will receive the damage instead. That's pretty cool. But we're not going to be able to get her in this beta, sadly, just because the time limit. Thank you for playing GODFORGE. Your reward's been added to your inventory. Alrighty. Well, thank y'all for the rewards. We got 201 out of 101 on the energy. What's this quest down here? Forge a weapon. Claim 100 XP, 5k gold. Imprint a weapon. Okay, so we have plenty of, like, objectives or goals to do. Use 5 Aether Stones. Wow, we're racking up the energy. See what's in the store. Mortal Aether Stone, energy refill for the daily gift. Alright, alright. Do we want to get this? I feel like we might. I don't know why they would put this in here if they didn't mean for us to. So we got some imprints. We'll check out if we want to use any of them in just a minute. Okay. Get 10 rubies. So, a partial energy refill gives you 20 for 6, or I guess that would be however much energy you have, which right now is 101. A 10 pack of ancestral stones for 800, which is, I mean, we have enough to get that. For 2.5k gems, you can get a million silver and then 400k a day. What would that equal up to? 1, 2.2, 2.6, 3.05, 3. Oh, another mil. So it's looking like you're going to get about 6 or 7 mil there. But I mean, hell, you're starting out with 2.7 mil. So I don't know if we would want that or not. We have one mystery. Well, I got to get these names right. We got one mortal. We've got one ancestral. The purple is eternal. And the orange is flawless. Okay. Pretty good animation, too. Who'd we get this time? Osinia, the Knight's Beckon. She is a cunning. Yeah, she is. I remembered that. Cool. Disruptor. Chaos. And Virage. Now, she only has 2 moves, but she's a common. Attacks one enemy, 305 attack, 30% chance to increase the duration of sleep. Now, the cool thing about sleep in this game, it comes in stacks, and when you hit them, it doesn't wake them up, it just removes the stack. And it increases the damage they receive by 30%, which is pretty nice. Same percent chance to play sleep before my turn. Okay. And it says that when attacked, the hero misses their next turn. I'm assuming that means they skip their turn, not misses the attack. But it could also mean that if they attack, it misses. But if they are like doing a cleanse or something, it might go through. I've seen games do either or. Who's this guy? Lubu. Labubu. 14 on the HP, which is pretty high compared to the starters. He's an HP champion. Strength Brawler from the Chaos. Tien. Okay. Attack one enemy, 10% HP. I'm assuming that's his HP, plus 120 attack. And then 2% HP on this hero as a barrier. I think a barrier might just be like a shield. Attack one enemy, 15% HP, 170 attack. So you build this champion with HP and attack. The hero has barrier. It's got a 50% chance to place Despair, which prevents buffs or positive effects being placed. The duration is reduced when receiving a buff. Hero misses their next turn. Okay. I thought, from my experience in the alpha, that Despair only prevented them from, like, a block buffs, essentially. But apparently it can make them miss their turn, too. The ultimate is an AoE. That's 10% HP, 100 attack, with an 80% chance to place Blunt 1, which decreases strong hit chance and strong hit damage by 15%. And if the hero is under a barrier, the attack is always strong. Then finally, the passive, when this hero has barrier, inflicts 20% increased damage and reduces damage received by 20%. So even if he's only got like a 0.5% of barrier, he's getting 20% more damage and damage mitigation. I mean, it seems viable. What's at the bazaar? We got some chickens. We got a little bit of gear. Master mystery imprint crate. A purple mystery imprint crate. Man, I can't speak. Alchemy crate, which is nice. I remember having a shortage of those in the alpha. I don't know what the Ribbonite is. I haven't really. That wasn't in the alpha. Um, let's check these imprints out that we got. Oh, where'd they go? I'm not sure why that's saying that we have a message, because we don't, obviously. What's in the bag? Anything? Here's where we can see our imprints. Okay. So the legendary one, start of an enemy turn, decrease the damage this hero receives by 10%, stacking up to 5 times. So if she's really slow and the last person to go, then she's going to get up to 50% damage reduction. That's pretty nice. Inari, Kitsune's gift. Each time this hero uses their ultimate, one random ally joins this hero's attack. So like a built-in mini ally attack. That's cool. Neza, the Sacrificial Surge. At the start of this hero's turn, sacrifice 15% of the hero's current HP and increase the damage of the next attack by 15%. Cannot reduce HP if it's below, so you're not, it won't kill your champion, basically. I don't know, I mean, if you got a really good support team with you, you might do that, but if you're not, if you don't have a good healer, or mend or something, I don't really know how useful that would be. Leon Elmosa, Crimson Berserker, increase the damage this hero inflicts by 2.5% for each living enemy. So in wave content, and there's a full team of 4, that's 10% more damage. That's not a bad one. Haunting Terror. When attacking enemy under curse, 50% chance to trigger one random effect on the target. Place, Despair, Sleep, or Confuse, Terrify, Corrupt, or Hex on the target for one turn. Now, if you got a champion that places curse, that's going to be a very interesting, maybe not consistent, but interesting imprint. Level 2, Energy Cap +1. Divine Offering, unlock Divine Offering to each account level. Do we want Experience, Imprints, or Ribbonite? Let's go for Ribbonite at first. I don't know what it does, though. What's Spirit? Or Knowledge? I don't know what this gives you. Let's see what Knowledge gives us. Oh, a Scroll of Knowledge. Okay. Armor? We don't have any. We got Gauntlets of a Lion, Knot Scale, Moonweave, Chainmail, Foreplate. So nothing to make a set out of, but we can at least have some armor to put on. Check out some Aether Stones. Yeah, definitely take that. Free champions right there. And it's the blue ones. Harrier. It's my boom. The Rescued Huntmaster. Very low attack. Like, very, very low attack. Place Vanish on the ally with the lowest HP. Vanish cannot be directed. So it's like Stealth or a Veil. Okay. Attack one enemy. Put resistance up on all allies for 2 turns. That could be good, depending on the type of bosses we're going up against. We don't really know what. And put block debuffs on all allies for 2 turns. It's his ultimate, but that could be very handy. Resistance plus block debuffs. If there's like a boss that puts out a bunch of poisons or curts, just basically any debuffs, for a rare, he could be very handy. And if an ally receives Disable, you got a 50-50 chance to increase the turn meter by 10%. Don't really care about that passive, but the ultimate and the A2 also pretty good. I remember him. He's a brawler. I can't. ASAC. I feel like they reworked his kid. If the target's under Blaze, he can place Petrify and increase the damage inflicted by 20%. Attack one enemy. If the target's under a Blaze, heal this hero by 10%, and if they're under a Petrify, has a 10% additional chance to strong hit. Okay, okay. But the ultimate, Molten Smash. It's an AoE with a 75% chance to place Blaze 1 on each target for 1 turn. Or if they're under a Petrify, it'll place Blaze 2 instead. Now, where do they get the Petrify? At the end of the enemy turn, if they're under a Blaze, has a 50-50 chance of place Petrify. Okay, okay. He could be a decent champion, depending on, like, it's RNG a bit, but I could see him coming in clutch. But with him, he'd be a champion that would do really good some runs and just basically wuss out on other runs. Oh, we got Morevna, whatever. She was a pretty good DPS in the alpha. Let's see if they changed her around any. But I did use her a bit. She's a wisdom slayer, by the way, in case anyone's wondering. Attack one enemy. 400 attack. Puts an extra hit if the target has 3 or more debuffs. So, up to 800% attack on the A1 for a rare. That's pretty good. Then she's got an AoE that ignores shield barrier and immortal at 325 attack. And then the ultimate, attack one enemy, 570. And then reduces the defense by 2%, stacking up to 5, so up to 10% defense reduction on bosses, because you're never going to get a normal fight that long. And then increase the damage by 3% per buff on the target. So you got 3 buffs, that's 12%. 12% of 800 would be about 100 more points, so say 900. You have a potential of 900 attack on the A1. I don't know about you, but that sounds very impressive for a rare. We're going to have to see it in action, but I'm pretty high on her. Okay. Now, let's see who we're going to make as our, like, starter wave clear. Like I said, I didn't pick him from the minigame to be my wave clear and progression, but until we get some gear and get a little bit leveled up, him having that 1725 HP, and while still having 90 attack, which is more than Ganyu, might be who we go with for that. But the A2 doesn't actually deal damage, just puts bleeds out. And you have to build up the ultimate to be able to get an AoE. So, are we going to make Guan Yu with 325 with a 25% more chance to strong hit? Or do we want to do Maria Morvain or whatever, 325, but ignore shield barrier and immortal? I say we level them both up. Can't go wrong with that. At least a little bit leveled up. And since we're putting out bleeds and drain, we do need one more debuff coming out that I'm not really seeing just yet. So until we get that that third debuff coming out, I think we're gonna go with Guan Yu for the AoE to put the gear on. But once we get a third debuff coming out, we're probably gonna swap our better gear over to Morvana. Don't really know if it's worth leveling up anything here, like gear wise. Maybe to like level 4. What's level 8? Oh, you gotta have. That's what the what's it called? Whatever that Ravenat's for. Okay, well that wasn't a thing in the last game, or in the alpha. Faith +3, that's nice. At least we got some attack percentage. Are we ready to get into the actual game now? It's a Crucible library, and it's just an imprint library. You can do extractions, so you can extract the imprints from champions that you either don't want to use or just don't have a use for. Transmutation and schematics apparently are not active yet, though. Either that or they get unlocked at a later date. The tower, still not here yet. The arena's still not here yet. The dungeons are here, but we got to get stage 10 to unlock them. Pantheon not unlocked yet, but I do believe it's in this mode now. Yeah, let's get into the fight. Let's go to campaign. Go to Avalon. Stage 1. I gotta hit my settings. 1 second. I gotta see if I can get this audio figured out. Okay. So, I don't remember if I had it on if I had it muted. I mean, I'm sure I had it muted the last time I was playing it, and it just saved those settings, I suppose. Let me know if you can hear the audio or not. If not, I'll turn it up a little bit. Because it does sound pretty epic. Use 48 stones, 40 daily quests, 6 Pantheon. Which I do know some of the daily and weekly quests you won't be able to do in the alpha. Which begs the question, why did they even include them? But I guess this is more of just what's going to be.
A scion of fate, empowered by destiny. You are something unique in the cosmos.
Yeah, we already know that. We know we're unique. We don't need her to tell us that. For 3 stars, under 20 turns, and with 1 strength hero. Where does it tell us? Strength would be red, I suppose. Yeah, okay. So I guess all the starters are going to work for that.
A scion of
To Guan Yu and Dragula. Let's crank the speed up as high as it go, which is +3. What POV do we want? We'll try this one out for the time being. Okay, whose turn is it? Guan Yu. Wave 1 of 3. Let's go ahead and do the A2. Was it 1 shot? Oh, it was Dracula. Okay. Oh, here's where it shows. Okay, I was looking over here. So, over here is your team and their divinity. Over here is the actual turn order. Okay. $775 on the A1. Bleed, but only about 250 on the A1 for Dracula. 400. So yeah, Dracula's definitely going to be a boss champion. I mean, stacking up bleeds will be very handy on higher HP, and even like maybe in-game waves, but not starting out. That attack didn't really do much to him, though. He does appear to be kind of tanky. Level up. Energy cap up 1. Ribbonite. Or armor. Let's try to get some armor. Ooh, we got purple. Purple speed boots. Okay. We'll take that. Crit damage on the gauntlets. Not bad. Of course, I don't know how hard it's going to be to get crit rate in this game. HP legs, that'll go on Dracula. Defense, that can go on a brawler. Let's throw some gear on Dracula real quick. Promote. We don't have any of the blue experience, whatever. Okay. Still want to remove that weapon. Let's put the HP pants. Crit rate and accuracy. Yeah, we can swap them out. The attack prop might benefit Guan Yu more, but having that accuracy and crit rate, I don't know, it might outperform it. Crit rate on the helmet too. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's put this on Guan Yu. %7 crit rate. We'll take it. We'll just go ahead and take them all to 4 so we ain't got to come to the screen when we swap them around. Crit rate and crit damage is a substat. That's nice. Especially on a Slayer set. Slayer set is 10% at 2-piece. Oh, I guess it only goes up to 2. Some of these sets are 4 and 6-piece. You cycle through them like that. Still don't have a chest, though. Okay. Oh, we gotta put the weapon on Guan. How'd we forget that? Equipped. Guan realistically might just solo this stuff at the start.
Havlorn is under attack, Gawain. The invaders seek the...
What's the requirements? 1 strength hero, so same as the other. And at least between Dragula, Morbane, and Guan Yu, that'd be 1 of each affinity other than the Eternal. Well, bam. Drain 2. There we go. You dead. The animations definitely look better. They look more fleshed out. Better pixels. The graphics, they are like, they're very good. We got a Slayer chest.
Sir Tristan, Isolde has asked to meet this new enemy with you.
I want Isolde. I thought it was Isolde. Okay. It's just Isolde. So it's the same requirement for 3 stars as all the other ones. Alright. Oh, she looks cool. Faye Enchantress. Speed down 1 is only 10%. That's not too bad. There's Isolde. And Tristan. I remember Tristan was a pretty good champion in the Alpha. Possibly a better shielder than Brynhilde. We got your Moor Slayer.
Camelot influences Avalon as much as gods. Arthur and his knights protect this realm.
So it's just like little one-liners as the story. I'm not really seeing what the story is, or if it's just like... I feel like that's more or less like a loading screen from Skyrim. So are we... Yeah, we're leveling up a little bit from this. We're at level 6, almost 7 now. We're getting a lot of Mortal Aetherstone.
Who are these invaders? Minions of Morgan Le Fay?
I hope that we get lucky and get Morgan Le Fay. Still, just beat it with the strength. Do we want to swap out? Oh, we don't have to swap it out because we didn't have a chest on him. Okay. Not a fan of the flat stat, but when they're at a low level, the flat stat could be better. So we have 2-piece of Lion, which gives you 15% more crit rate. 2-piece of the Slayer, that gives you 10% more attack. Does the Lion, is it only a 2-piece? Oh, no, it's 6-piece. Okay. So at 4, you get 5% crit for damage at the start of each wave. Does that stack? Increase the chance to inflict a strong hit by 10%. Okay. Make him a little bit more, 5% more HP, which puts him at 2.8k, which isn't too bad.
Who are these invaders? Minions of Morgan? My scrying reveals little, Majesty. I sense...
Oh, they're talking about us.
At work. I'll gather the round table. Not yet, sire. Prepare them.
I feel dumb. These were actual videos. You have to click the next dialogue. I just assumed it would autoplay. Wow. Oh, she's faster than us this time. But they're not tougher. I hope you can get rares out of the Mortal Aetherstone. Level 7. I want to see what spirit is. Just, oh, it's the chickens. Duh. Okay. We got a druid. And he gives you 150 defense, 135 attack, with a 25% chance to put attack down, which is decreased attack by 30%. Place protect, which takes 20% of the damage to universe. So, okay. Protectable. So he better be tanky. I mean, he's only an uncommon. I don't expect him to be very tanky. don't know. His base stats look pretty rough. And Radiance. Decrease damage received by 10%, reflects the damage back on the attacker. I mean, that's not bad. Our Radiance was a heal. I guess not. We got 2 of them. Okay.
The Fae are fascinated by these invaders.
These strange magic dismays them.
Are not just the Fae. They scheme with outsiders.
That could serve us, my son. We will
Voice
watch them.
acting's pretty good too. At least like the production recording quality of it. I mean, I don't really hear any emotion in it, but Celeste passed. Are you able to get that? I don't see it in the shop anywhere. Yeah, I don't know on that. 10 more. Let's do a big old 10 pull. Terracotta Warrior. No rares though. I don't know. I don't know if you can get rares from the mortals or not. Valkyrie. What's the chances? You can get a rare, but it's like 1 out of 100 basically. Well, actually 1 out of 80 there. And epic is 20, eternal 20, flawless 20 to get a legendary. Okay. The mercy system's not too bad. I do feel like we need to streamline the summoning animation. Like, yeah, it's cool, but like if you click it, it should like skip it and go straight to the champion you pull. Which, that's just a minor gripe, that's nothing major. She looks cool. And she's a rare. I was about to say, is she a rare? Because she looks pretty cool. Attack one enemy, 375 attack. If the enemy is not defeated, decrease the target's divinity by 10%. If the enemy is defeated, increase this hero's divinity by 10%. Okay. Well, automatically I see some boss viability there with the divinity manipulation. AoE 305 with a 75% chance to place Hex 1. Allies to receive 5% of damage split to 0. The damage is half for AoE attacks. Okay. And sharpen or accuracy up on this turn. So is it just random which is which, or it's like 1% higher than the other? And attack all enemies AoE. 20% chance to put an extra hit when inflicting a strong hit. Okay. With 93 as the base attack. She could be decent for a rare. I mean, she's just going to be a damage dealer, basically. The Hex is nice, though. The Nymph. We all know what she is. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, we got another rare, I think. Oh no, he's just a common. That intro looked like a rare. Okay, back to the fight.
The Fae are fascinated.
These
And it looks like you're going to get 10 rubies every fight. I don't know if it's going to be every fight, but the first time you do the fight. We might rerun this fight just to see if we get 10 rubies again. The sound effects are pretty good too. Like, just the audio in general in this game, it's pretty decent. Very, Witcher 3-esque soundtrack. What? Oh, turns 22. Okay, okay. Well, let's take Dracula off and see if we can get it in under 20. I'm glad there's not like a 2 or 3 second wait between each round. In the alpha, there was like that black screen could lag on for a few seconds, and it really slowed down multi-battles, yeah, but just trying to do like quick farms. Like, say if the combat segments took like 10 seconds, the 2 black screens in between rounds would add like 4 or 5 seconds to it in a lot of cases. Now, he did it in 17, okay. That might be the direction we take for the meantime.
Especially since he's focused on the Fae. The Seelie have powerful lords of their own. They mean to shape Avalon to their whims. Loki schemes with them, but to what end? The capricious Fae are dangerous. If we didn't need the trickster, it would have been better to avoid him.
What do they need him for? What do we need here? The same requirements? Yeah. It is looking like it's going to be the same requirements for all 10 of the first stages. We'll go into manual, because I think we're going to be able to use our ultimate here. I want to see how it hits. Let's turn the speed down to witness it in all of its glory. Oh, nice. 2K, or a little over 2K on her. Okay. That wasn't bad at all.
I may need your great sorcery, Brand the Blessed.
The power of the Black Cauldron demands a great...
I hope it doesn't come to that, but we may have no choice.
I dream of the Morrigan Merlin. You do as well.
Our world will be forever changed. That frightens me.
What are they scheming? Round 10 is still the same requirement. If he hit just a little bit harder, he'd be one-shotting these waves. So, like, I bet if we had the gear up to level 8, he would be one-shotting them. We may need to look into the Riven Stone or whatever it's called. you go. 3K on her. $2.87K XP. Okay.
Forgive me for recalling you, Percival, but
The rebels are almost routed, Gawain.
you've seen the magic of the Grail. Merlin senses that power here.
The Grail. I see. I'll face this foe and learn what I can.
So Sir Gawain and Merlin, I guess, are looking for the Holy Grail. Oh, there was still one more stage for this. Okay, okay. No, there's two more. I thought that was stage 10.
Forgive me for
Weird.
recalling you.
I can't count. Suppose let's just put that XP into him. Get rid of a few dupes. Gained about, what is that? 24 for 28 attack. Okay. Can we do any ascending? No. Either way. Cool, cool. Now that we've refined the weapon, what does that put his stats at? 291 attack and almost 3K on the HP. 102 on the speed. Still only 35 crit rate, which I don't understand because we just upgraded it 3%. I do believe that we can take the crit rate helmet up to level 8 now too, though. And the speed there. Now where does that put us? 45.5 on the crit rate. We're getting close to that 50% mark. And 107 speed. Alright. Let's see how we do now. Do they automatically use their ultimates, I wonder? Like if it's an auto battle? Yep, they do. Well, that's good to know.
I failed you.
You fought bravely, Tristan.
Lady Isolde,
Wife,
until we know more about these...
Collect our, oh, there's stage 10. Why do I keep thinking I'm like a stage ahead of what I
Failed you
am?
both.
Do we have 2 TN or 2 Barrage? Or can it be like one of each? Man, are they all ordered? Oh, it's up there. Duh. So he's a TN. We need one more. And he's a Barrage. So she's Barrage. Okay. So we can do Morven and
Failed you
Dracula.
both.
360 rubies for 3-star net. Nice. Oh, is this gonna be a boss? Or like a pseudo boss? We'll manual this.
I don't know what you are. I won't allow you to stain, but should I fail, know you are a fool.
Huh. Look at that smile. Oh, you didn't even have to kill them all, you just had to kill the main guy. Okay. It's a pretty cool design.
Who are you? And what are you? There is a taste of the primal about you. Utterly delicious. You seek the one
Magically
who shattered
delicious.
reality and brought us all here. What fun! Heimdall, the all-seeing, may be able to find him. I know a secret way into Asgard. I will whisper it to you. But perhaps he'll be similarly intrigued. He would be a fool not. You and I will speak again.
And now we got Isolde. Or Isolde. Isolde, as they pronounced it. And if I'm not mistaken, if they haven't changed her around, she has a really good imprint. Her passive, when a defender is attacked, it heals all allies for 10% of their max HP with no cooldown. Great passive. The ultimate, remove a random debuff from all allies, then increase the turn meter of all allies by 15%, then a further 5% if a debuff is removed by that ally, so up to a 20% debuff, or turn meter fill. And if Tristan's on the team, 75% chance to charm on them for 2 turns, which cannot be resisted. Okay. Defense up 30% on all allies, then increase turn meter of all allies by 10%. And attack one enemy, 290 place mend, which reduces bleed stacks by 2 and heal 10% at the start of their turn. So like a weak continuous heal. Okay, so yeah, and the 15% speed in campaign battles. So she's still a really good champion. And we get a weapon. And the Gawain imprint. Okay. And now we have dungeons unlocked. So now we can directly farm the different ascension stones. And to get our whetstones, we have to do the hag, which we got to do the Garage Realm story stage 10. Okay. And what about rifts? We have rare, epic, and legendary raw. Definitely building that energy up. I want to get Morgan. I've heard people talk about her. It's supposed to be really good. Speed down 2, Dark Tidings, full buff strip with an AoE, a triple hitter AoE, with Drain 2, defense down 2, and attack down 2 for 2 turns on everybody. Yeah, that's a crazy ultimate. When enemy receives the buff, reduce the duration by 1 turn. When enemy receives debuff, increase the duration by 1 turn. So yeah, she's going to be a very effective champion. Do another 10 pull real quick. How close are we? Oh, we did level up. Okay. Let's see what armor we get. Nice. 2 pieces of Bastion. You gain barrier at the start of the turn, 5%. Not bad. 4 piece puts 25% shield on everybody at the start of each wave. That's good. Increase shield and barrier received by 30%. Okay. So on a brawler or a tank, that could be a really good one. We need 15 to ascend him. Let's go ahead and do the dungeon that gets some of the red ascensions. The Shrine of Hercules. waves. I don't know how tough they're going to be. A little bit tougher than the other ones. I still think we'll be able to do it with us at this level, though. Maybe not. I don't know. It's cutting it close. Depends on what we're looking at on this last stage. Oh, it's Hercules, a boss. Yeah, I don't know. With no gear on, yeah, I knew Isolde's about to get knocked out. Dragula, can you stack up some bleeds real quick for us? Ooh, no bueno. Yeah, I think we failed this one. We need some more gear. We could throw the shield sets on Isolde though. Let's just go ahead and back out. I mean, it says it's the top seller. I suppose we can go ahead and click it. It looks like they're going to be pretty generous with the rubies anyways. Oh, we got a legendary! Izanagi. Not really sure what he does. 2 epics? And another Maria. Let's see what he does. The Great Father, Wisdom, Invoker from the Azumo faction. 25% faith in all battle or dungeon battles. Attack one enemy, 340 attack, plus a 0.5% attack per faith. Increase divinity of all allies by 5%. That's nice. If Izanami is an ally, she will join the attack. Okay. We don't know who Izanami is, but cool. Plays Faith up 2, which is 20% more faith on all allies for 2 turns. Reduce the divinity cost of all allies by 5% up to 15%. That's nice. Place attack up 2 on all allies, then increase the divinity of all allies by 20%. Also increase the damage of each ally's next ultimate by 30%. And if Izanami is an ally and has been defeated, revive her with 50% HP and 100% terminus, so an instant turn basically. For every 5 buffs placed on an enemy team, activate this hero's basic ability against the enemy with the highest terminator. Got some good divinity control or manipulation. 107 base speed's pretty nice. HP mid, defense kind of mid, attack's real low, but nice speed. And an interesting kit. I don't know who this guy is. He was not in the alpha. He is a defending brawler from the order that belongs to the Occur faction. 140 resistance in dungeon, don't really care about that. 170 defense, 145 attack, but a barrier on this hero equal to 10% of the damage inflicted. When retaliating, it's an AoE. I hope he brings retaliate, at least for himself. 95 defense, 80 attack on 3 random enemies. Each hit has a 40% chance to place a taunt. That's nice. So a taunt makes them attack him, of course, but it also gives them 25% reduced damage. AoE, 140 defense, 120 attack, puts Aether Burn, which is nice. When taking a turn, decreases the divinity of all allied heroes by 6%, but it does not work on bosses. Also increases the weak hit chance when this hero attacks by 10%. So, makes them more likely to weak hit and decrease their divinity if they're not a boss. And if the target is a boss, it puts attack down 50% instead. Not bad, not bad. Has a 20% chance to redirect an enemy attack from an ally to this hero. It increases hero's turn meter by 20%. It increases by 10% against enemies under Aether Burn. Okay. What's his base stats looking like? Pretty standard. Gozu. With the cherry blossoms. He looks cool. Alright, that's enough camera movements. Is a strength brawler that is chaos from the Azumo. Okay. So he's the same faction as the legendary. Attacks on enemy. He is an HP champion with 15% HP, 140 attack. Decrease each target's defense by 3% up to 10, so up to 30% defense decrease. That's pretty nice. And heals by 30% of the damage inflicted. If Mezu is an ally, heal them for the same amount. So he is a tandem champion. AoE, 10% HP, 115 attack before attacking. Has a 75% chance to place Hex 2 and Threat for 2 turns. If Mezu is an ally, he joins the attack with his core ability. Nice. An AoE, 10% with 115 attack, steals 20% of the target's current HP. So steals, meaning he gets it. And if the target's a boss, steals 5% of the enemy's HP instead. And if Mezu is an ally, increase the resistance by 20, stacking it 5 times, so up to 100% resistance. Not bad. That's an interesting champion. I'd have to see how Mezu, whoever that is, goes along with him. But okay. We got Tristan here. Good old Tristan. He's been in it from the start. He's the Tortured Heart. He is a defense champion. And he can transfer 1 debuff from a random ally to this hero. And if Isolde is an ally, it transfers all debuffs to this hero from Isolde. Puts a semi-decent shield on all allies. And Isolde receives a 50% increase to the shield. AoE, puts Radiance 1, Radiance 2 on her, if Isolde is on the team. Which reflects 20% of the damage back on the attacker. Each debuff on this hero reduces damage taken from attacks by 10%. So, nothing crazy. Just a standard champion. I don't think Ragnar was in the alpha. %, crit damage, okay. 5% HP, 50 attack, 3 times, so 15% HP and 150 attack. On a triple hitter. Each hit has a 15% chance to place Blunt 1. And if Lagertha is an ally, they also join the attack. I like how many tandem champions there are. A lot of the champions synergize with each other. AoE, 10% HP, 1 pop attack. 75% chance to place defense down. 1. And then the ultimate. Attack 1 enemy, 10% HP, 100% attack twice. So 20% HP and 200% attack. Each hit destroys the target's max HP by 5% for the damage inflicted, up to 25% of the target's max HP, and puts a shield equal to 15% of the champion's max HP on the hero when their health drops below 50%. And he is an HP champion. And then finally, a coup. .380 attack with a 50% chance to place a curse for 2 turns. And if the target's under Blaze, it also increases the Blaze by 1 turn. Now Curse decreases healing and the strength of shields and barrier by 25%. That's pretty nice. The A2 is an AoE with 310 attack, 75% chance to place Blaze 1, and if the target's under vulnerable, places Blaze 2 instead. Blaze 1 deals 2% max damage to each hero on the hero's team, and it's doubled for the hero taking the turn, so 4%. Blaze 2 is 3% for everybody and 6% for the person it's placed on. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with Blaze, this hero steals 5% of the target's current HP, so he has a little bit of sustain in his kit. It says can occur once per hero. Is that like once per hero per turn, or just once per hero in general? But you need somebody with vulnerable to place the Blaze 2. But the ultimate, 545 attack, nice, and ignores 2% of the target's defense per debuff that they're under. Interesting. I can see him putting out some decent damage. Another Labubu. We got Kate Sith. I used to use him quite a bit in the alpha. And we got Ramses. So we got our acid dude. Tomoe Gozen. Not a clue who she is. She's new. A lot of these Tian champions are new. Places Sharpen on her twice and has a triple hitter. Destroys the target's max HP by 30% of damage inflicted. If it's a strong hit, not bad. Removes half the target's shield. If the target's not under a shield, increase the strong hit chance by 10%. If it's a strong hit, increase this hero's divinity by 20%. So her ultimate can give her up to 20% of her divinity back. Increase the target's, or the hero's crit damage by 5% each time they attack the same target, stacking up to 30%. Resets when you attack a different target, so when you use her, you want to make sure she hits the same person over and over again. Max stacks increase the chance of strong hit by 10% and heals 5% of this champion's max HP whenever they inflict a strong hit. Okay. What's her attack? 77 is not too good though. But her damage does scale from HP and attack. And she does have 14 on the HP, which is decent. What's Cyclops going to do? The A1 is an AoE. Not crazy damage, but it's an AoE that heals for 10% of the damage inflicted. He could be a really good, and yeah, he's going to be a good wave clear if you can get good gear on him. The A2 is another AoE, then decrease each target's attack and defense of each target. That's weird wording. Decreases each target's attack and defense of each target by 3%. They should just remove the of each target at the end there and just have it decrease each target's attack and defense by 3% up to 5 times, so up to 15%. Now the ultimate is a single target hitter, but the A1 and A2 are AoEs. And it deals 15 HP, 185 attack, then steal a random buff from the target and destroy 10% of the target's max HP. Target's under a buff after attacking has an 80% chance to put resistance down on that target for 2 turns. Before attacking, this hero will increase their attack by 5% of this hero's team combined attack. Oh. Maybe he is a good damage dealer. We're going to have to check him out. We'll have to see it in practice. But I see potential there. Then we got Odysseus. Looks pretty cool. Very Chad. The Trojan Tactician. Attacks one enemy, 350 attack. Decent. 50% chance to place accuracy down 2 on the target for 2 turns. Attack one enemy, 500% attack. If the turn meter is above 50%, set the target's turn meter to 50%. If the target's turn meter is below 50%, has an 80% chance to put speed down 2, which is decrease speed by 20%, not bad. Then finally, you got an AoE with 285 attack, then 50% chance to place confuse on all enemies. And confuse means the hero attacks a random ally with its basic ability doing 75% reduced damage. And then on the passive, when an enemy under confuse attacks one of their allies, this hero gains 10% turn meter. What's his base stats? 1000, 73, 73, 95. Very mid on these stats, but that's an interesting kid. And then we got Nefertiti. She wasn't in the alpha either. 345 attack, 75% chance to decrease target's turn meter by 5%. And if they're under speed down, the turn meter is 10%. 495 attack, 75% chance to place charm for 2 turns. AoE 285, 50% chance to put speed down 1 on each target for 2 turns and decrease the target's turn meter by 10%. And then passive, increase the accuracy of all allies by 20 for each hero matched in this hero's realm. Okay. I don't know if I'll use her, but okay. Good to have. Oh, and what they do to Minotaur now. %10 HP, 125 attack, 50% chance to put 2 stacks of bleed on the target. Strong hits always place 2 stacks of bleed. 5% HP, 70% attack on 3 random enemies with a 30% chance to place a stun for 1 turn. Removes a random disable from this hero and puts a stalwart and retaliate on this hero for 2 turns. The retaliate could be really good at making him stack bleeds on the A1. And if he's at full divinity, he has a 20% chance the strong hit added to it. I'm cool with that. Emotep. In the alpha, he's like one of the only actual like designated healers. Let's see if his heals are still good. I slept on him till the end of the alpha and didn't realize how good he was at healing until the very last couple of days. Not making that mistake this time if they haven't nerfed him. 101 speed, so a little bit above average speed. Very low attack. Okay HP, and about average defense. A1 deals 335 attack, but his attack's real low, so it's really more like a 200 attack. Then heal 5% on all allies. So the A1 heals everybody about 5% HP. The A2 heals all allies 25% of their max HP, then puts Stalwart on each ally for 2 turns. And Stalwart makes you immune to disable, and the duration reduced when an enemy attempts to disable the hero will remove disable when placed on this hero. So, you just can't be disabled, I guess. Then the ultimate, put Radiance 2, which decreases damage received by 20% and reflects it back on the attacker, and Faith up 2 on all allies for 2 turns, then reduce each target's affinity cost by 3%, stacking 3 times up to 9%. And then passive, at the start of each wave, put a ward on the ally with the lowest HP for 2 turns, and ward decreases the damage received by 100%, duration reduced when activated. So, basically, ward for 2 turns, and if you get hit before that 2 turns, it's up to lose it. But it's a block damage for 2 turns. Or until you get hit. We'll take that. We got Icarus. He was a great damage dealer in the alpha. Not just because he has a pretty decent starting attack, but all the blaze he brought with him. 380 damage, and if they're under a Blaze 1, increase the rank to Blaze 2. So you pair him with another Blazer, and he can automatically double the Blaze damage just based off of A1. But the A2 brings accuracy up for 2 turns, then an AoE at 310 attack, and a 75% chance to put Blaze 1 on the target for 2 turns. So even if you don't pair him with another Blazer, he can still bring it, then up it on the next turn. But they're only going to have 1 turn of Blaze 2 instead of 2 turns. The ultimate is 165 attack, 4 random enemies. Each hit has a 50% chance to activate Blaze on the target. You know we love instant activation. And each time Blaze activates, increase this target's turn meter by 5%. And if this hero activates Blaze, increase the damage of their next core ability by 5%, stacking up to 20%, occurs once per turn. He still sounds like he's going to be a really good champion. What a very standard looking guy. He's not very bold looking. Attack 1 down. Remove disable from each ally, and if disable is removed, then you place an intercept. Redirects an attack to the hero that placed intercept. He better be tanky. What's his deep? I mean, it's pretty standard stats. Maybe he scales. Place protect 1, which allies who place this buff take 20% of the damage this unit would receive instead. So yeah, he's just basically funneling the damage your team would take onto him. And then puts a block debuff on each ally for 2 turns, which is nice. The block debuffs, as I said, will be handy. When this hero intercepts an attack, kill the protected ally for 10% of their max HP if the ally is below half health. Prevent the intercept from reducing its duration when activated. Okay. Everybody else from the... Oh, no, its shell, it wasn't in the alpha either. I thought it was Lady Shock when I saw the icon. The Rainbow Mistress. Very low attack. That's the lowest attack I've seen so far. But decent HP for a rare, and the defense is, you know, mid. 1 enemy, 165 attack twice, but that's really just going to be like 165 attack once, damage-wise, when you see it like in comparison to other champions. But it puts a mend on this hero for 1 turn, which means she's going to get 10% of her health back every time she uses her A1. Remove 1 random debuff from all allies to put a stalwart on each ally for 1 turn. Puts a mend on all allies for 1 turn, and if they're under half health, it increases their turn meter by 10%, and if they're not under half health, it increases their divinity by 10%. Okay. At the start of the hero's turn, sacrifice 10% of this hero's HP, then heals all allies for 20% of this hero's missing HP. Well, that's interesting if you can keep her alive. It doesn't say anything to differentiate it, so I would say that can kill her from the passive, but it's interesting. We got any more dupes? Yeah, we got a few. Don't know if it'd be enough XP to level anyone up or not. We got 3 of him. What did he do again? 340 attack, and his base attack was 55. Yeah. Faith up, reduce divinity cost. Attack up, increase divinity. Okay, so he's a divinity manipulator. Okay, alright, alright. I remember him now. Let's level him up a bit. else had a AoE on their A2? Him. And we've got 3 of him. Is Ascension... No. It's not that. I could have swore if we had multiple of him, we was able to, like, empower him or something. Maybe not. I don't know why I thought that. Thinking we get him a little bit too. Just so that we have some kind... Okay. Awakening. So, can you not awaken rares then? Yeah, you can. Nor an additional 2.5%. Alright. Armor attunement stat multiplier 10. Primary stat multiplier 75 with the stat 75. Cool. Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. And what does that bring his stats to? 197, 158. Okay. We're cool with that. We're gonna probably hold off on taking them to 8 until we figure out exactly how we get more of that Robinite. But we're gonna go ahead and take some the Slayer gear up to 4 so we can get some gear on our attackers. And we're gonna do a set of 4 for the Bastion set so we can get that 25%. Is it 25% shield? Yeah. We're still missing Bastion Gauntlets. That sucks. Okay. Is he gonna hit harder than Guan Yu? $218, but he's 14. Let's take him up to 14 too. Yeah, he's slower, but he is going to hit harder, I believe. 325. 310, but you get a blaze. It's on a 4-turn, though. Go ahead and awaken her too, because we do want her for damage. That A1 is too good to not take advantage of. I guess Guan Yu is still going to be damaged for the time. I don't know, man. That's hard to tell. Because he is a little bit faster, too. We'll keep our damage on Guan Yu, but we're going to try him out, that other guy, too. Okay. Now let's throw a little bit of gear on him. What imprint do we want? What gives us damage? If he has a cheap ultimate, then that could be very good on him. 1800. Well, everybody else's appears to be way higher than that. Yeah, I guess he does have a cheap ultimate. That just sounds high, but not in comparison. So yeah. That way to bring in an ally to attack with him. Looks like you're getting the 1-star. Now we just need to put on... I guess we don't really need... Like, we're getting a lot of the standard commons, so I guess we could get rid of a little bit. That way we can go ahead and have Isolde up some, or Imatep. No, I think Isolde would be better early on. That speed in all battles, or campaign anyway, is going to be nice. And we'll throw the Bastion set on her. We're still a piece short on that, sadly. Okay, so that's a 3-man team. Let's go into battle. Did we complete something? It's already gone. We'll go a few stages on before we do the dungeon again. Alright, we need 2 Slayers or 2 Brawlers. Either or. He's a Slayer, he's a Slayer. Okay, that's fine. That works. Turns is our limit. Too late. I was wanting to save his AoE for this round, but whatever. I think we're still dealing enough damage to get the turn limit. Oh, I gotta throw my Hodge keys in real quick. Level up. We get Ribbonite, Experience, or Armor. Well, it is looking like this is going to be the quickest way to get, like, higher tier armor. I say that we get uncommon. We get Lion, which is fine. Colossus, and... whatever, we need gear. We definitely need gear above anything right now, I believe. Visuals and development. Oh, that's funny. He almost one-shots him. Even on a weak hit, it did decent. What's that Pierce at? Right. Only 8%. The line gives 15. That's weird. What's even the point of that one? That girl that we just knocked out there, she was probably the best rare in the alpha, but they nerfed her pretty rough. Scaldy, I believe, was her name. And Scaldy was her name. Oh. Wow. My game freeze up. I think we're gonna upgrade their gear a little bit. Just a little bit, because they're so close to one-shot in the waves. I hate to upgrade. I suppose since it's pink, it could be worth upgrading to 8. What are we getting on substats? Crit rate. Would that give us an extra, like, percentage or 2? Oh, it gave us 2 more. Okay. Alright, I'm cool with that. And the accuracy will help out as we progress a little bit, like early game. How much does it cost to take that to 8? Only 7? Yeah, we can spare it for now. We really want to get these wave clears quicker. We don't really care about that on him right now. Crit damage, we can take that up, since we're focusing on crit rate for him. So we're at 107 crit damage for him. But we really need to get that crit rate up. Don't really want to upgrade that one. Don't really see a need to. See if we get anything we can sell for a little XP real quick too. I don't know who that guy is. I don't know if we even looked at him. Go. Did we check him out? 400 attack. 675 with defense down. And 360 ignoring shield and barrier with a 20% crit. Oh, what's his attack? 87? He could be good for bosses early on. We'll look into him tomorrow. Tonight I'm just wanting to get through the early areas. And can we pull this off yet? Probably not. Let's do a few more campaign stages first. Okay, that's better. A little bit. Oh, that's a good hit. 36 or 3,600. Yeah, he's got a good A1. Whatever his, I can't remember his name. Not Guan Yu, but the other attacker that we're using. There's 4 of them this time. Doesn't matter when you're using AoEs though. Okay. I don't think it actually killed that guy, but we'll take it. got worse. Well, at least it made it to the end. Hope we get our divinity off by round 3. Turn 19, just barely. Which we don't really need at Zolde. We can always take her off to get a couple extra turns if we have to. But I am trying to get her leveled up a bit. What do you think? Do we swap her around? Do we even have enough gear to put on her to do that? It's only 7. Oh, oh, that's way more. Now, not on a gray. 270,000 for that. But that drain is going to be useful for the foreseeable future. Oh, I thought where you could highlight them, you could, like, pick one. That crit rate might be more handy. I don't know. We'll have to see. Ooh, that hurt. I see that the enemy's attack's starting to ramp up a bit. Ooh. I wonder why she's quicker than everyone else. We don't have any speed anything on her. That joint attack is going to be nice on bosses. So, I guess this is going to be a boss fight. Olympus or Amioken? Okay. He's an Olympus, ain't he? Yeah. Odysseus, he can go in. Alright. How many team slots do I have, though? Okay, it'll be alright. It did nothing. Cutting it close here. Maybe the divinities will do some carrying. I hope. Oh, that did some damage.
I have never before seen the fires of If you seek Gilgamesh, I cannot help you, but I saw Svarog the Smith. They will.
so he can't help. Well, then what was the point? Ooh, ooh. And we got the Hamdall imprint. Alright. Oh, we missed the star here. Run it back real quick. And they're hard targeting you, gong you, gun you, whatever. There we go, critical strong, 4.7k. Like to see that. We do one more set of 10 and we'll have 5 of the ancestral anther stones, okay. Now we're in the barrage, which unlocks other dungeons. I think we stick with what we have, one turn. We only got 800, so that didn't really do much on that end. So, Akuma, Ganyu, Zolde, Maria, and I guess Icarus. We'll throw what we took off of her onto him. Now, let's see if we can do stage 1 of the Hercules. Ah, shit, I didn't mean to do her as the lead. She's only for campaign. Smacked him down, though. I'll give it that. It's looking a little bit better. Sweet. Now, who did what? 12K on him, 28 for Ganyu, 14 on Maria, and 8 for Icarus. But Icarus has the worst gear on him, so. If we put him under attack, I wonder how much better it does. Here, man. Well, it made Maria and Icarus do a little more damage. I don't really know if it sped it up any. Oh, that was stage 2. Okay. So yeah, stage 2 was quicker than stage 1 doing that. I still say we do the barrage real quick. What do you need for this? Only chaos. We should be able to do that. Kuma is chaos. Dracula is chaos. Icarus is chaos. Okay. Let's go with Icarus. I don't have an aura though, sadly. Oh, we got some new music. Ooh. Think we're gonna have to come back through this stage when we get some Chaos people leveled up to get the full 3-star. And good. We really need Guan Yu to be able to one-shot that first wave so that the other people save their A2s for the second round.
I have never before, but you, So it looks like you're still farming the Mortal Aether Stones when you replay it. Okay, so stage 9 gets you Aether Stones. What does stage 8 get you? Wait, does it say? It tells you what gear pieces you can get.
that gives you Aether Stones too. Huh. Well, does this give you experience?
I failed you, but
I mean, you can always sell the summons from the Aether Stones for XP, but... Wish you didn't have to go through this cutscene when you replay it.
Who are there? You? Perhaps you?
Alright, it's Aether Stones too. Oh, but we did get some 3-star speed boot Slayer.
Forgive me for recalling you. Forgive me for
Okay.
Why are they not leveling up? Oh, I guess they are just very low XP on that stage. Oh, that was considerable. Yeah, that's a considerable increase. We get the increased damage by 20% on drain. Cool. Need 3 of the medium size though for the next ascension. Now we gotta do the barrage story then. Alright. Hey, we get our first flawless. And it's guaranteed Lego. Who we gonna get? Who we gonna get? Quetzalcoatl! Fuck yeah! Such a good champion, or at least they were in Alpha. Base speed 108, 14,000 on the HP, 94 defense. Really good starting stats, really fast. Attack one enemy, 345 attack plus 0.5 attack per resistance, then heal 10% max HP to all allies. If it's a strong hit, put Petrify on the target for 1 turn. And Petrify increased affinity effects are reduced by 50% and heroes miss their next turn. They, too, the core, increase the turn meter of all allies by 20%, then put a speed up on each target for 2 turns. So you get a 20% increased speed, and a 20% turn meter fill. And then the ultimate, Faith up 2, Accuracy up 2 for 2 turns. Also increase the turn meter of the ally with the highest turn meter by 50% when this hero's divinity reaches 100. And then on the passive, when this hero is defeated, revive 2 allies with half health and increase their faith by 5%, stacking 3 times, once per wave. So she's a pseudo reviver, brings increased speed, increased accuracy, increased faith, increased turn meter, heals by 10% on everybody on the A1, and petrifies on strong hits. Amazing champion. I'm stoked for that. Who we get here? Vestin of the Seer. 300 attack with a Radiance 1. Heal everybody by 10% health, then put a 5% shield. Remove a debuff, then heal 15% of all allies and extend the duration of a random buff by 1 turn. Okay, not bad, not bad. Each buff on an ally increase this hero's healing output by 5%. Okay. She might be a decent healer. Emohep might have some competition. We got an epic. The Percival. Who is this? Yeah, Percival. Pretty weak A1 as far as attack goes, unless you get him really high HP. But when he's fighting chaos enemies, he ignores 20% of their defense. Base stats, I mean, he does have 1455 on the HP though. He's just really slow. Puts a res up and a radiance 2 on this hero for 2 turns, then 50% chance to stun all enemies for 1 turn. Good crowd control. Remove all debuffs and disables from this hero, then attacks 1 enemy, 20% HP, and 205 on the attack. If no buffs were removed, debuffs, sorry, place a retaliate and a ward on this hero 2 turns before attacking. Increases hero's resistance by 10% per buff they're under. I didn't really use him much in the first alpha. Let's see how we're doing now. Let's get Quetzalcoatl in there to give us our increased speed and get some XP into him. Cool. Making our way up on the tokens of valor too. By the way, if anybody doesn't know, the tokens of valor is going to give you basically a currency that you can use to buy like special items from the shop when the game launches that you can only get with that. So only us beta players will be able to access them items.
What do you think, Robin out or armor? Let's try armor. We still need good armor. Get there. Back with speed. 3-star on the Bastion legs. We'll take that. What do you say we swap over Isolde's gear onto Quetzalcoatl? That could be good. Oh, he brings Drain. I figured it'd be Bleed. Despair. 500 though. What's his base stats? 40. But still, I mean, those are some pretty big numbers. Just barely got that one in. Yeah, that's way better. I mean, I'm sure later on that speed would be better, but at the current moment, that attack's helping me get the turn count. 5K on the A1, nice. So the ultimates don't count as turns. That's good to know. Stage 10. Let's go. One turn short. So you can forge weapons? I didn't know that.